Welcome in everybody to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host Michael Darcy, and today I'm going to break down if Mo Claiborne can affect this Chiefs secondary. Chiefs Kingdom, finally some good news. Mo Claiborne is coming off of suspension, and he'll be active for this Week 5 matchup against the Indianapolis Colts. So, Mo Claiborne missed the first 4 games of the season. He was suspended for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy. So, that's not good, but it's great that he's back. But now the biggest question in my mind is how will he affect this Chiefs secondary? Because I think that he will affect it, but the question in my mind is how he will affect it. I mean, he could be a great player or he could be a terrible player. But right now, I think the Chiefs need somebody to replace Charvarius Ward. He has not been good at all, and I think that Mo Claiborne would definitely be a step up from Charvarius Ward. But that's not really saying much. We need somebody that can either come off the bench or start that can really pick this Chiefs secondary up. I'm not so sure that Mo Claiborne can do that. I think that he could have a Darrelle Revis, Orlando Scandrick type of impact, which, to be quite honest with you, is something the Chiefs secondary doesn't need. We have enough problems. We don't need to add somebody that will just drag this secondary down. So this is very important. But I feel like we're going to kind of understand what Mo Claiborne brings to the table in just his first week. Because with cornerbacks, it's kind of interesting to see how they will progress. But due to his age, he's 29 years old. He's played with 2 different teams. They both cut him. And I think that in the first few weeks of his presence on the secondary, we're going to find out if he's a keeper or we just cut him. So the Chiefs need to either figure out if he's a keeper or they can cut him and go after somebody else. Because I think they still got to go get a Jalen Ramsey or a Patrick Peterson or a Xavier Rhodes or some other dominant corner. They just don't have anybody that can take control of the best wide receiver of that certain team and really just dominate them. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm not quite sure what to expect. I think that he's just going to be average. And right now, this Chiefs team does not need average. They need above average players to come in and make this secondary better. And I'm not so sure if Mo Claiborne can do that. So let me know your thoughts down below. But right now, I'm not sold on him. I still think if I'm Brett Veach, I'm calling Jalen Ramsey. I'm calling Patrick Peterson, trying to get a trade negotiated. So if I was the general manager, that's what I would be doing. But it really just depends on how Mo Claiborne pans out. So I'm just not sold on Mo Claiborne yet. We haven't really seen him do anything, and I guess in practice he's been okay, but we don't need somebody that's okay. We need somebody that will take that next step to make this Chiefs secondary better, and I'm not sure if he'll do that, but only time will tell. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I think that as long as Mo Claiborne can be a step above some of the other older veterans that we brought in, he'll be fine, and hopefully the Chiefs aren't done adding pieces to that secondary. They could still use another big corner. So if I'm Brett Veach, I'm making all type of calls, but that's out of our hands. So right now, our secondary is pretty much dependent on Mo Claiborne, Tyrann Mathieu, Juan Thornhill, and Kendall Fuller. So hopefully those guys can get it together because this Chiefs secondary needs to be better in order to win a Super Bowl. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you guys like these videos and want to support me, go click the link in the description and go support me on my Patreon. I would more than appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the KC Sports Report. Signing off from Chile, Minnesota is Michael Darcy.